Welcome to Fireside Gaming. I'm Billum, and we're just doing a quick video this week as I want to show off this little game called SwordWithSauce. This is one of those cases where I bought a game on Steam while it was still in early access, and it ended up as a dropped project that the developer no longer actively works on. And while that sucks, I feel like there's enough content in SwordWithSauce to justify its $3 price tag. For that price, players get 5 weapons, 5 levels, 25 gadgets, 4 enemy types, and 3 game modes. Players are able to pick out the weapons and gadgets they want to use before dropping into levels. They can also create loadouts with their favorites for quick access. Every one of the 5 levels in SwordWithSauce is just the player being dropped in and having to eliminate all of the enemies on the map without dying. How the player goes about that is up to them. In that sense, these are kind of small sandboxes that you get to play around in and find your favorite ways to progress through them. For example, there's this city level that places the player on top of a building. Sure, it shows you the doors and the stairs, and maybe you just want to head down that way and take out all the baddies in this building. Or you could say, forget that, instead, parkour and grapple your way over to another building with higher elevation, steal the sentry sniper rifle, and take people out from above. This kind of openness is something that I really like about the game. It has me playing through the various levels over and over again, taking different paths and using various loadouts. There's even a shield option that players can select, and they can throw it just like Captain America. And the shield will actually bounce around and eliminate enemies before returning to the player. It's a really cool feeling, and potentially even the best take on a Captain America game yet, just without the name. Of course, players can also choose to go into levels gun blazing and just completely wipe out foes with a machine gun, shotgun, or a pistol. But I'm more of a stealth guy personally, so I find myself going for the katana over ranged weapons. But that's not to say the katana doesn't have ranged attacks. Players can throw any weapon in the game, and while some only stagger opponents, the katana is a one-hit kill. Doing this can create some fun and speedy moments where players are throwing their katana to kill one enemy, punching another to death, catching the just defeated foe's weapon out of the air, and turning it on another enemy. The katana also has this really fun feature where instead of just attacking with it, you can hold the right mouse button and you'll automatically put it up and start deflecting any incoming bullets from, say, machine guns. It doesn't work on shotguns, but it's this really cool kind of samurai feel as you're just constantly blocking all of these shots from enemies as you progress towards them and finally cut them down. I don't know, it made me feel cool, and it's something that I continue to like about the game to this day. And this isn't even taking into account all of the crazy gadgets the game offers, like the black hole, which just sucks up anything in a certain radius, the player included. There's also shock traps players can set up, trap hooks that trigger when enemies get too close to them, freeze bombs, head-seeking spinning blades of doom, and more. Like I said, the variety that SwordWithSauce offers is what keeps me coming back to it so often. It's just mindless fun that I can really get behind. So much so that this $3 game has absorbed about 20 hours of my life over the last few years. And I'd say that's a pretty good bang for your buck. Plus, I do know that I'll be coming back to it over the years to kill time in short bursts between longer games. There's also community-created levels that players can enjoy as well. I was surprised to see that there were still new levels being made in 2023. I kinda thought that all interest in this game would have died out by now, considering it hit Steam back in 2018 and it was around prior to that in early access. Some of these are fun to mess around in, and there's a few parkour-focused ones that I really enjoy. There's also other themed levels that are based on different games, like there's this one that's Delfino Plaza, and you can just kind of run around that area, except not as Mario, but as a bloodthirsty killer. It's not a major draw of the game, to be honest, but I do feel that these created levels are worth mentioning. Also, I'm sure you've probably already noticed, just based off of my gameplay footage, that there's really not much to look at with SwordWithSauce. This is where its unfinished state really comes through with these generic-looking enemies, lackluster audio, and just not a whole lot in the way of environmental details. But if you can overcome these things, there is a good bit of fun to be had in this game. It might be worth checking out for you if anything in this video has looked remotely fun. And that's everything for this Indie Insight. I did say this was going to be a quick one, and there was no real story to cover this time around, so that's another thing. Either way, thank you for sticking around with me, and until next time, take it easy.